Hello everyone, it's good to see you all again. I see a lot of old faces back again every year. For my summer, I'm going to teach some arm locks. But not just arm locks. A lot of people have a misconception. They think that arm locks don't work. And they think they don't work because they're looking at them as a static point. So if you have somebody who's strong, let's say, come here for a minute, Mike. And if I wanted to do an arm lock on him, and he holds his arm and he's not letting me have it, of course the arm lock's not going to work. I got a lot of video footage out there on YouTube, and some people go, that won't work on me. Well, the idea of the arm locks is you're supposed to go with the energy. That means that if he's coming to punch me, and I happen to go and try to take this into a straight arm bar, and he's pulling it back, I have to come back on a forward to redirect him. I'll bring him back for the camera here. If I want, let's say he came to punch me, and I sort of popped around and punched him in the face, pulled his arm, I could take it into a straight arm bar. It'd be easy. Actually, I cheat a bit. So I'm not so strong. So I hook this to my leg, and I use my leg to stretch it out, take his center of gravity away. Now, if I'm over here, and I'm trying to do an arm lock like this, of course, it's never going to work. It might be good for a pitcher. So we want to cover a lot of points here with this arm lock. And what I like to do is get some people up here to show a finer exercise to develop the ability to go with somebody's energy. So come on up here, and we'll, come on, Alan, you can come up here. Jason, come up here. What you're going to do, the first exercise, what you're going to do is just have this here like this. If he comes to punch you, you just go with his energy. If he pulls his arm back, you go with his energy. So I just want you to pair off. So let's say he comes to punch me, and I go with his energy. If his arm comes back, I go back with his energy. Just pair off and play with that a bit, please. You want to get somebody out there? No? Okay, you can just watch these guys. Okay, from here, this stance is sort of, when he comes, you go with your butt, come hard, like, so I go with this. If he's pulling back, because he pulls back, I'm going to go, but instead of going with it with my arm, okay, I'll get an important point here. When he comes to punch, and I go with his energy, I could take his straight arm. If he pulled it back before, I go like, but I don't go like this and let my arm go back with him, what some people will do because you don't know any better. The thing is, if I go back with him, that allows him to come around and take my arm in return. So it's going to teach you sort of the advance of succession here. So the idea is don't let your arm go back so much like this. Sorry if I didn't make it clear. When he comes to punch, my body moves back. If he pulls back, my body moves forward. If my body moves forward, he doesn't have the ability to come around me. Now, if he does come around with this side, since this side is connected, these shoulders are connected, when I pull this shoulder back, it pulls that other arm back out again. Right? So we'll just, as you're playing around, he'll come to punch. I like to take the straight arm. If you're good and fast, you can do it good. Spread his center of gravity away. He can't have it. If I want to take him straight out to the ground, I can take him straight out to the ground. Everything's great. Now, if I didn't take him straight out to the ground that way, come here, Copley, for a minute. My guys are a bit more squirrely. They won't let me get away with certain things. If I tried to take him to the ground like this, and his body weight's underneath here, we're going to be wrestling. We're going to be fighting. The idea is if you have his arm straight and you're going to take him to the ground, you have to extend him away from his center of gravity in this position here. The other thing I'm keeping his arm facing this way. It's an important thing here. Because if his arm is here, he can go up like that and start fighting you again. The idea is once I extend him out and I put his arm this way, he can't roll over. Physically, he can't. It's not going to happen. Here, he can, just because of the shoulder bone, right? So if you're coming back for your arm locks again, you can come back from the arm locks here or here. You can come back around, come for the wrist as well. So we'll pair off again. I just want you to, there's a few finer points. That's the problem. When people see stuff on video, they think, oh, that won't work with me. Well, of course it won't work if somebody's not continuing with the energy. The idea is you're going with somebody's energy and redirecting it. If you move your body in the right position, it makes it very easy. Just continue playing around a bit. If anybody else wants to come out, please do so. So since you're pulling, it allows him to fight. You see? When he comes to punch, and I go with his energy, I'm perfect. Boom, it's done. And now when he comes to punch, and I pull him, all of a sudden he becomes strong. And when he becomes strong, that means when I go this way, he's coming around me. If you're fighting, you're going to come around me, right? You see? I don't want to, if I ever pull somebody, he's going to pull back. So you have to have a sensitivity. When he comes to punch, I extend this out. This is done. He's popped here with my chest. If I have Mike, it's a bit different. He's a big guy, fairly strong. When he comes to punch, if ever I grab him tight, he's already fighting me. He lifts weights, the strength training, all this stuff. So when he comes to punch, I have to come good and have this elbow. Now, with the arm lock, the basic straight arm lock, you have to have pressure here. Instead of me putting pressure with my arm, I stretch him across. If I pull this, he's going to walk around with his energy and counter me. If I pull him down this way, he'll fall down and take me with him. And I really don't want to do that. So what you have to do is make the shoulder stationary, the wrist stationary, and just use your center mass to apply that pressure. Some people, what they'll do is if I'm pulling pressure across this way, they'll bend their elbow upwards like this to try to stop me. I can pull down, it won't work. So if this happens, I have to stretch across again, attach it to my leg. Because if I stretch out with my leg, he has to be completely reliant on my body weight. I never want to lean my body weight on him. He's mine. Now, if I sit down, he might have a chance of countering me. So I stretch him away from his center of gravity. If I stretch him away from his center of gravity, there's nothing he can do from here. So this is a few more points here we want to get in. So carry on, and as these guys do, I'll find mistakes, and we'll just add to it. Yeah. So watch this. Yes. Just push me, and that's all. He pushes me, I go here, right? So when I go here, now if I put my hands up and I go here, I don't have it here. I just turn so I can take this button. It's done. Here, you can feel this? Yeah. If he could be strong enough, we can. If I was here, he pulled me down. I would come up behind. Been in here again, right? So there'll be more. So keep playing that. Well, add that one up to the point. Okay, you guys, what are you doing? Standing around. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to try to make a rush course because luckily this is being videoed, and I'm sure people will be able to have access to get copies of the video. Here what we're doing is, I'll take Jason again. As he comes to punch, and I come like this, his arm is already fighting this. Fight it. And as he, yeah, but I can take his center. He's not fighting it very strong. If he fights it very strong, then I have to come back to him, right? Then there's what we call a distractor. You just give him, if he has resistance here, you give him a little shot there, and it comes back out here. I don't have the arm lock. As soon as this goes to my leg, he's done. By the way, I stopped his leg from coming and walking around me. It's very important in this position. If I was like this and he's pulling down, I step around, putting this behind his back and taking his center off this position here, coming down again. Anytime you want, if you want to come back around to sit down and crank up his arm, if you want to do the arm here, pop.